Hello, my yarny friends. I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Now, today's video is Friday Fun Day, and I have a really fun pattern for you today. Now, this is our first Friday Fun Day in 2025, and we're going to make these cute coffee cup applique or magnet. And what this is this last week we began our 2025 crochet along. And you could make either the wall hanging or a pillow with the word home across it. And then we're going to be adding a applique for the O. Each month we'll have a new one to hang with our wall hanging or to pin on our pillow. But if you don't want to do the wall hanging or the pillow, you can still participate because these also will make wonderful magnets to put on your refrigerator. All right, so this is the January applique or magnet. It is a cute little coffee cup and it's a lot of fun to make. You're really going to enjoy it. It stitches up super quick. Now, if you would like the free Ravelry download link for the wall hanging and the pillow, I'll put that link in the notes under the video. I'll also put the free Ravelry download link for the magnet and the applique. I'll put that link down in the notes underneath this video. I wanted to keep it all free for our crochet along each month. It'll always be through the month or through the year of 2025, a free Ravelry download. All right. I also have this on my blog, and I'll put the link for both the hanging pillow and the coffee mug. I'll put those links in the notes underneath this video because there are lots of pictures and information that will help you as we go along. All right? This is going to be a really fun year, and I think this is going to be a really great crochet along together. Because like I said, if you don't want to make a wall hanging or a pillow, you can still make the magnet or applique every month and have a lot of fun with us. All right? So, all of the links, all of those links will be in the notes underneath this video. This is going to be so much fun. Now, let's talk about what we need. Now, to make your little cup, this is our magnet of the month, like I said, for January. You're going to need some yarn, just a small amount of yellow, brown for the coffee, and then green for the leaves. And I'm using purple where I used yellow here. And I'm making a yellow cup. All right? Not even a half of an ounce of the yellow, and these are just a small amount. Okay? We're going to be stitching with our H-hook, which is a 5 millimeter. You need scissors and you need a needle. This, like we said, can be a applique or a magnet for the fridge, or you can put them on your fridge while you don't have them on your pillow or your wall hanging. All right, so this is just my suggestion, is to pick up some of this felt that is adhesive, peel and stick. You can see it was 99 cents for a sheet of 9 by 12. And I just cut off a half circle to put on the back. You can see it isn't even straight. It's just on there, stuck on, and it gives it a little bit of sturdiness. And you can buy these in different colors. I have red, blue, green, I think yellow, and white. And you can buy them to match the color that you're using. But I'm just using the white one right now. I think it works just fine to make it a little bit more sturdy. And you still have room up here if you want to pin it on. Okay, now, I was talking to another lady and I was telling her you can use these type of brooch pins. You can attach them up here, just sew them on or hot glue them on. Then you can pin it onto here or there. You can also use a pin like this. This is actually a knitting stitch holder. You can also use safety pins. But when I was talking to my friend, she said, why not use Velcro? And so I don't have any with me right now because we were talking about this last night. And so what you can do is they have Velcro that is sticky. They comes in circles and squares or in long straps, and you can cut those. And you could always add that to the back and then add a little dot of Velcro on your pillow or your hanging. That's totally up to you. But I thought it was a really great idea because then you could just put that Velcro on the back and stick it on and it's going to stay put. And you don't have to worry about pins or needles or anything like that. So that's a really good idea. When I head out this weekend, I'm going to go by, see if I can find it at Walmart or at Hobby Lobby. Or also I've seen them at the Dollar Tree. Okay? So that's one thing to keep in mind. Another thing is that magnets, and I talked about this last week on our live video, is there's lots of different magnets that you can use. These are leftovers from different tablets and pads that I put on my refrigerator that I write my grocery lists on. And so I just took it off the back and I've got a nice magnet that I can cut to put on the back. Or I found these at the Dollar Tree, 12 pieces. They're circles. And we can just hot glue these on the back. And I'll show you how to do that later on in the video. But if you buy this pack, $1.25 for 12 magnets, you're set for the year. Because remember, we're doing one magnet a month. And there's 12 months. So there's lots of options there for you to choose what works best for you. All right. I like the idea of the brooch pins because you can just sew them up here, pin them on, and then you don't have to take it on and off. It's just on there. Same thing with the Velcro. All right, so I'm going to pick some Velcro up this week, and I'll let you know how that works. All right, so we're going to make our coffee cup, but I also forgot to mention, if you don't want to do this little embroidered flower, although it kind of looks like a butterfly, doesn't it? You can always put a fancy button there, maybe a flower button or something that you like. Anything that you wanted to, if you're not into embroidery. These are just lazy daisy stitches, and I'll show you how to do that. But if you prefer a button, go for it. You can make it quite personal that way. All right, I've got my yellow yarn here. And we're going to start with a slip knot. And we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right? We're going to turn and stitch a single crochet in that second chain from the hook. And we'll stitch 1 in the next 3. And that will give us 4 single crochets. All right? We're going to chain 1 and turn. And now we're going to stitch 2 single crochets in the first one. Move that out of the way there. 1 and 2. Then we'll stitch 1 in the next 2. 1, 2, and then we'll stitch 2 single crochets in that last stitch. 1 and 2, and chain 1. All right, so on row 1 we had 4 single crochets, and on row 2 we have 6. All right, let's do row 3. So we've chained 1, we're going to turn our work, and again we're going to stitch 2 single crochets in our first stitch. Then we'll stitch 1 in each across. And then 2 in our last stitch. 1 and 2. So now we have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single crochets. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're not going to increase anymore. So we're just going to place 1 single crochet in each of those 8. And again, our chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we go right in that first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And chain 1. And you can see the bottom of our coffee cup starting to form. So now what we're going to do is we're going to repeat row 4 for 3 more rows. So we chain 1 and turn and stitch 1 single crochet in each of those 8 single crochets, and we'll repeat this for 3 more rows. And since I did 1, I just need to do 2 more. All right, so I completed those 3 rows. That brought me up to row 7. I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to single crochet in the first stitch, and then I'm going to bring in my brown for that row of coffee. I mean, it's a coffee cup. It has to have some coffee in it. All right, so we're going to go in and pull up a loop, and then we're going to grab that brown and finish that. All right. Sorry again about the cold. Trying not to clear my throat too much. There we go. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to stitch 1 single crochet with our brown yarn, and we're going to stitch over our yellow yarn. And we're going to do this for 6 stitches. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to finish with the yellow, and we'll drop our brown. We're done with that. And then we'll stitch our last stitch in our yellow and go ahead and chain 1. Now, let's turn it over real quick, and we're going to go ahead and cut our brown yarn, and we'll need to weave that in. But I'm not going to do it just right now, okay? Because this is the way. I'm going to hide those back there until I get a minute to weave them in. But just so that you can see how row 8 is supposed to look, we have 1 single crochet in yellow, we have 6 in the brown, and then we ended with 1 in yellow and chained 1. And that's how row 8 should look. So now we're ready for row 9. So we've chained 1, we're going to turn our work. We're going to single crochet in the first 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. Now we're going to half double crochet in the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll single crochet in the last 2 stitches. 1 and 2. All right. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our work. We're going to chain 1, and you'll notice that you have your strands on the back side. So what you want to do is pull those so that they're on the other side, because this is now the front of our work. All right, so we want to pull those strands to the back. All right, like that. And then we'll go ahead and weave these ends in. All right. This is very important because now we're going to be working on the front of our work. And when you're doing rows back and forth where we're turning every row, there really isn't an exact front or back unless it's designated. All right, there we go. So we pulled those strands to the back, we weaved them in, and I'm going to cut them off. All right. So now this is the front of our work. And what we're going to do is we're going to evenly single crochet all the way around. And I didn't weave this one in yet. We can do that in just a second. All right. So now we're going to go in the sides of those stitches and evenly single crochet all the way around to the other side of our coffee cup. And the key to getting a nice even row is to put your stitches in the sides of the stitches and not the holes. And sometimes you may need to put it in a hole, but let's try not to. And we're just going to ease it around the bottom. We'll come back in and weave that end in just a minute. And you could have gone ahead and done that when you weaved in your other ones. I just wanted you to see how important it was to know the front from the back, because that's our coffee there. Alrighty, so I'm just working my way back up to this other side, evenly single crocheting up to the side. And then we're going to add that handle onto our coffee cup. There we go. All right, I'm back up to the top and I'm going to join to that first single crochet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over and I'm going to go ahead and weave this end in. That I don't have to worry about it later. That's making too much noise. Let's move that. There we go. We'll just go right back up again, going through fibers and stitches. Alrighty, so that's weaved in and we've stitched all the way around the outside of our coffee cup. So now we have a nice cup, but we need a handle. Alright, so we're going to chain one. We're going to turn back down this side. We're going to slip stitch in those first two stitches. 1, 2. Now we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to skip 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and join to the next one with a slip stitch. Oops, try that again. There we go. And chain 1 and turn. And now in this chain 7, we're going to stitch 8 single crochets around this chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then we'll join to that slip stitch with a slip stitch. Okay, and we'll cut our yarn. There we go. There's my handle. Now I'm going to turn this over and weave this end in. And when you do, pull that in just a little so we can get that shape. All right? And we'll cut that. So now we have a cute little coffee cup, and I really love it in the yellow. I originally made one in yellow, and somewhere along the way I lost it in moving things from my computer to my yarn room. Alrighty, so now I have a cup, and now what we want to do is make this little flower in the center. Now, if you prefer to add a button of choice. Maybe you've got some flower buttons, or maybe you just want to make some of the green leaf, which this one is like a dark teal, and then put the flower button on. It's totally up to you how you want to decorate your January coffee cup. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to grab my purple, cut off a piece, and I'm going to show you how to do the lazy daisy stitch. It's really simple. So we want to go into the center of our cup. And when you're doing this, you want to go through a stitch, not the holes in between. Okay, so I'm going to go right here in this stitch. Okay, you want to make sure you leave a little bit of a tail behind. And what you're going to do is you're going to make a loop like this. You go back down in the stitch that we came in and just go up in a stitch above. And it's real important that you go through the stitches and not the holes, okay? So then we'll gently pull that. And then we won't go right in the place we come up. We'll just go right above it. And that will give us a sturdy loop to hold that petal. All right, so there's one. And then we'll do that again. And I like to do the bottom one next. And I don't measure, I just sort of eyeball it. You can measure if you want to. Now we'll do two more. Going to the side. And one more petal. And you can offset them different if you want to. You can even make 5 petals if you want to, or 3. It's totally up to you. Okay. So now I have my 4 petals on there. I'm going to come back up here and just go around those stitches. Just make a couple of knots here. And this is another thing where that felt, when you put it on, it'll cover up your knots and stuff in the back and make it nice and flat. All right, so now we have our 4 petals. Now we're going to add some green leaves. And I just cut off a piece that's maybe 16, 18 inches long. If you're making more petals, you need more yarn, you can just add more to it. Alrighty, so I think I'm going to do one up here and one down here. Now when I do this, I don't come back up in the same hole. I try to come up kind of next to it so it's not affecting the flower. And again, I want to try to go in stitches and not the holes in between. Okay, now I want to make sure I didn't pull that string. There we go. Move it forward just a little. There we go. And then I'll do the other one down here. It would be really pretty to do 3 flower petals and 3 leaf petals also, instead of 4 and 2. It's just up to you and what you want your flower to look like. There we go. I'm trying to get in a stitch. There we go. And again, this is just an embroidery stitch called the Lazy Daisy stitch. Very simple. Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, you could add some beads to the center of it if you wanted to make it even more fancy. Alrighty, so we'll tie a knot so our leaves don't come undone. And I'm just tying 2, and the reason is, if I add a magnet to the back, or this piece here, it's not going to matter. Alright, so here are the 2. I'm going to grab my felt. So what I did is I just set it on there, and I took a pen, and I sort of just went around. Because it doesn't have to cover the whole thing. You just want to have a nice section in the back. Then I just take my scissors and cut it around. There we go. I really love this stuff. It has lots of purposes. The sticky felt. All right, now You just peel the back off. Oh, that's the front. We don't want to cover that. And I try to leave a little bit of space at the top up here. Okay, so now I've put the felt piece on the back. And I need to decide, do I want to put a magnet or do I want to put something like this? And I'm going to do one on each so that you can see how I do that, okay? Let me grab my hot glue gun. I have decided to use my hot glue gun. You can use tacky glue. You can use sticky Velcro or buy magnets with sticky on the back. It's totally up to you what you want to do. I just really like using my hot glue gun for this project. All right, so this one I'm going to put on the refrigerator. So I'm going to turn this over. Here's my magnet. I'm just going to put a big blob of glue on there. And this is a low heat gun. You can see cool shot. It is a low heat gun. Set that over there. There we go. Just going to drop it on there and kind of push it around. And I like to make sure when I glue on something like that I have some glue around the edges. It's going to hold it much tighter. All right, so that one can dry. And I decided I like the idea of using the brooch pin. And I'll let you know, like I said, about the Velcro because I think that's a really good idea. Now this one is only going to be a pin, so I'm going to put it in the middle. If I was making one that was going to be a magnet and a pin, I would put it up here. Okay? Alrighty, so you notice this has some little holes, and so I'm gonna put it kind of towards the top. That way it doesn't droop. And I'm just gonna make a line back and forth like that. And make sure it's open. That way it doesn't accidentally glue on that. And I'm going to gently push it down. And see how it comes through those holes? That's going to help it stay nice and secure. Now, if you don't like to use a hot glue, a lot of people are scared of them and they don't want them around kids and stuff. And that's totally fine. You can, like I said, you can use tacky glue, fabric glue. There are lots of different types of glue that you can use to hold on your pieces. Okay? All right, I'm going to let these dry now. So, my glue on the back of my magnet is dry, and the glue on the back of my pin is dry. Also, I've already pinned it on. Super cute. I really love them. They look so cute. Whether you're putting it on the wall hanging or the pillow or on your refrigerator as a magnet, I love how they look and I love how they turned out. It's just a cute little cup of coffee. I wonder what magnet we'll do for February. This is going to be a super fun crochet along. I think you're really going to enjoy it. Now don't forget to decide whether you want to make a pillow or a hanging, wall hanging, or maybe you just want to make the magnets. It's all fine. It's all okay. We're still going to have so much fun no matter what you choose to make.